No, but anyway. There's deafening silence between those two words. You stopped. Yeah, oh, that's fair. Hey, everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Oh, everyone's on the couch today! And the reason is because we're talking about Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, which is one of the best things Frank Miller's ever made.
All right.
Wait,
It's
really?
a really good, no quotations or winks, Frank Miller book, and it's phenomenal.
Wait, like better than Dark Knight Returns?
Nothing is better than Dark Knight Returns. This is Daredevil's Dark Knight Returns, only it doesn't even go into the future. It's just great.
What about some of his Sin City?
I don't really care about Sin City. But this is from 1986, so it's actually the same year The Dark Knight Returns came out.
Oh,
so,
wow.
like, something was in the coffee that year.
It was cocaine.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll have
that's what's
to
in
ask
the coffee
him.
now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But man, this book. So, okay, it's Daredevil, 1986. Frank Miller had already written some Daredevil, and but this is like his opus. And the concept is very simple. It's and by the way, if any of you attended Sunday school, you might recognize some imagery from this, and it's part of the reason why Tiffany's on the couch, because of the like artistic imagery that Frank Miller deliberately puts into the book, or at least tells Mazzucchelli to put into the book.
Okay.
And by the way, I think Mazzucchelli does a better job in this than in Year One. Because Frank Miller and Mazzucchelli did Batman Year One, which is like Frank Miller's second best Batman book of all time. Matt's a lawyer. He is between jobs at the moment, or between firms. I think
It's
that's
like,
the
what?
idea. Like he's looking
It's
for
between
work.
lawyer and
Yeah, and Daredevil.
lawyer.
And Chef.
No, he's looking for work, but he's also successful, and he lives in a nice apartment.
He's not worried.
He's not worried. In fact, but what's amazing is his whole life falls apart before he has his morning coffee.
Oh.
So here, take a look. The concept is such that, okay, if you know anything about Daredevil, or you read Daredevil Yellow, which we did on Back Issues a while back, we know about, or you've watched the Daredevil series, you're familiar that, like, with Karen Page. Karen Page is, like, Daredevil's once and future love of his life. She was his receptionist when he was working with Foggy and everything, and at this point in continuity, Karen and Matt have broken up, and she left to pursue an acting career. And she gets one, but it's in pornos, because her life completely falls apart.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't work out for her.
book?
Yes.
Okay. And Matt can't even see them.
But he can hear them. He's like, I know that
That's
voice.
the real tragedy.
Yes. Such is the tragedy of Daredevil Born Again, is that he can't watch the Karen Page pornos. That
Oh, what are they doing now? All I hear is sexy bass and slapping. What sound?
So,
He calls up Foggy and has a call. Just
describe it to me.
Oh.
No! She's starring in pornos in Mexico. So they're like really low rent, garbage pornos.
She failed hard
Oh,
at being
and
an actress.
she got addicted to heroin.
Oh my... What? What?
Yeah.
Is any of that believable for her character?
I mean, she didn't really have a character, so it works out.
Yeah. All right.
So Karen
This is her
falls
character
hard.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And-
Frank.
Yeah, and so Karen falls hard. Her life is garbage. She's stuck in Mexico. She can't even leave because she's addicted to heroin, and she has like no life, and no one cares about her except for the people who are hooking her up with smack and who are like who want to film her or have sex with her for money. And
Plus, she's
so,
getting the runs all the time because she's drinking the water.
right, exactly. Way to
anybody
insult
know
our
about
Mexican
this?
fans.
She's from America. They have specific.
They have different microbials in their body.
They've adapted to that environment.
Well, maybe she has too. She's been there for a while. In any case, she has basically sold every part of herself for her selfish reasons.
Not her soul, Sal.
No, but there's one thing that she still has, and she sells it for one more hit, and it's the secret identity of Daredevil.
Oh
Wow.
no! What?
Yeah. So she
Wow.
tells some low-level drug pusher that Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
Hang on a second.
Wow.
This chick is strung out. She's doing porn.
Yeah.
She's addicted to heroin.
She's done porn. She's no longer doing
Okay.
porn. She's out of porn.
and her pusher is like, I totally believe what you're telling me right now.
You know what's funny? There's an explanation. This is how good Frank Miller is.
Okay.
He thought of that criticism, and he's already written it into the plot.
All right.
Because it's like, no, normally it's like, why is Batman calling Robin retarded? No explanation, we're moving on. No, this is Frank Miller where he's at the top of his goddamn game. Why does it matter that they listen to him? Or they listen to Karen? Because the Kingpin, a.k.a. Wilson Fisk, has his fingers in many pots. He's obviously this Kingpin of crime. He's organizing a lot of things. And he has enforcers everywhere, he has informants everywhere, and he's put out the word over time, if you get any info, no matter how unbelievable or small, about the identity of Daredevil, you get it to me. So this person hears it, and he's like, this is valuable to me, I will go to Wilson Fisk, I will give him that information. Okay. And indeed he does, and Fisk is like, cool, kill everyone who knows.
Wait, only wow. I know.
Oh. So, literally, and by the way, Fisk is even sure if it's reliable.
Right.
And Fisk is in an interesting predicament because he is trying to replace all of his ill-gotten organizations with legitimate ones. He's trying to basically buy into legitimacy while also still being the kingpin of crime. So he's like, I am a mob boss, or rather a crime lord, but I'm also trying to obfuscate any culpability when it inevitably falls apart.
I'm trying to be a business mogul too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kingpin is, and he is, in fact, he receives a businessman's award towards the end of the book.
Why doesn't he just make candy?
Why does he make candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like he'd have a lot of experience.
I mean, I'm sure he owns a candy factory. What?
Have they ever explained
why he's so fat?
Yeah. Is it like a thyroid problem?
It must be, because
like
actually you always see Kingpin working out, but he's always morbidly obese.
Are we meant to believe that's muscle?
No. Well, he has muscle underneath all the fat, but he has muscle as well.
He's ripped as well. You just can't tell.
Yeah, he's ripped, except for the fact that when he cuts himself shaving, marshmallow fluff comes out. Thank you, Spider-Man.
There's a scene in this.
Mutant or something?
No, he's just really strong.
He should be on the can of SpaghettiOs.
With the big top hat?
That's how hilarious he looks.
No, I'm just saying, like, he should just spin this brand.
Oh.
Like, he'd be like, you know...
No, he's also incredibly sensitive about, like, being made fun of. So, no, I don't think he'd be capitalizing
Wilson Fisk's donuts. Like, obviously I know what tastes good.
Yeah.
Look at me.
That's the slogan of his company.
If you look at his physique here, he's actually, like, this is mostly muscle.
Yes.
Here. You know,
it's just
he's a sumo wrestler.
Visible fat.
I mean, he could be as strong as a sumo wrestler.
He's also, like, really tall.
Yeah, like,
he's big. He's a big dude.
Him?
He's big!
Like no person who ever existed.
This is the weirdest critique I've ever heard of the Kingpin. I've never been called into question about what the Kingpin's deal is. He's big!
Well, now we got Tiffany on the couch.
He's moving on.
Yeah, he's big and tough. That's all you need to know. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, but, like, can he actually support his own weight?
Of course he can. He's walking around. You can see his legs are very thick and muscular. They're thick with strength. Anyway.
He's going to get osteoporosis.
I'm almost certainly, but who cares?
And varicose veins, easily.
So, Kingpin kills, or tries to have killed everyone who knows this information, and he's like, I gotta test it. I don't know if it's reliable because it's from an unreliable source.
Right.
But I'm down, so let's hear it. So, he puts
this
in...
This is like the 7th time he's done this, because he keeps getting...
Yeah, someone's like, hey, I hear it's this guy now. Okay, I gotta destroy this person's life. Kill everyone who told you. So, he sets this into motion where... So, Matt Murdock wakes up. And he's like, okay, let's check the mail, see if I got any job offers today, because I'm sitting pretty, I'm doing great. He has money now, like he's doing fine. So he gets the mail. He runs his finger over the lettering on the letters, because that's, while regular blind people don't normally do that to know how things work.
That's impossible, but
yeah, but he has heightened senses.
He's not just getting like braille mail.
Right?
No,
like,
exactly.
Who is sending
that
this?
wasn't supposed to be a joke.
I know.
Who's sending him things that?
Oh, well, his girlfriend...
Does she know that he can do this?
No, well...
Then why was she said to...
It's more like...
Why would she be so cruel as to say...
That's what I'm saying!
No, she doesn't. She sent... Well, his girlfriend, or his girlfriend at the time, mails him a cassette that is the letter. And in his monologue to himself, like as he's... In his running thoughts, he's like, I got a letter from my girlfriend. It's a cassette tape. She lives only a few blocks away. That's not a good sign. So... he gets a couple things. He's like, no job offers. I got a thing from the IRS. That's interesting.
That's cruel of the IRS. They send the blind man a thing.
Just a letter. Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't you read our letters?
And that's, by the way, that's how he reads the newspaper too. He runs his finger over newsprint as well. But
he just smears it. Gets newsprint everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Hands are
said.
just covered in ink. It's gross.
That'd be a really cool visual, actually, in like if they did it on the show.
Yeah.
Where he goes to his like deposition or whatever, and he's like covered in newsprint.
That's also
What are you doing? Oh, I was reading.
No, like you can do that. That's remarkable.
No.
I'm not Daredevil, you know.
What? No one said you were.
Good, because that would be ridiculous. He gets all this information, and one of the things he gets is basically he finds out through phone calls and letters that he is being investigated for witness tampering.
Oh.
And so he is going to be called into the grand jury for disbarment in a few hours. And another thing is...
They work really fast.
They work really fast. Almost like they were being manipulated by someone with extreme means. The other thing that he also gets... So he gets audited by the IRS because he was accused of taking illegal funds for witness tampering. And he's accused of tampering with a witness by a reliable and really, really honest cop that Frank Miller created in a previous volume of Daredevil.
Okay.
And he's like, this guy, like, why would he accuse me of this? He's a good guy. He's a good cop. This makes no sense. And, well, it's fine. I'll be fine. And then he goes to check his money, and he can't access it because his assets have all been frozen.
Oh, wow.
So before he's had his morning coffee, he's in jeopardy of losing his law practice and his license. And he can't pay any bills or buy anything.
Wait, more importantly, did his girlfriend break up with him?
Oh, yeah, and she dumped him via cassette tape.
Nice. Well, that
It's okay. He wasn't even listening.
Yeah. No, he listens.
He was reading the whole
She's
time.
basically like, you're really distant. You're Daredevil, and that sucks. Like, you know, but
she knows.
She doesn't know. But no, you're Daredevil. You're distant. You're standoffish. You make up excuses for why we can't hang out. You know, it's all the reasons why you can't be together. But he keeps being Daredevil.
At times, you're also really religious.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I hope he threw that out because I'm imagining later on, Foggy's like, "Hey, some road trip tunes. Come on, hop in, Matt."
Well, it's just a rough.
Hey, Matt.
Oh, Foggy, we can turn this off. Well,
what
Foggy,
is this? Where's this going?
Foggy gets to hear this in firsthand because he goes and visits her, and her apartment's been ransacked.
Oh, wow.
By the way, like, it could be because of her connection to Matt Murdock, and Kingpin was, you know, getting information on him. That's probably what it is. It could also be but she assumes it's just the shitty city because she's not from here. I think she's from Ireland or something. But like,
her name's Glory.
Glory, thank you. So, but she just basically blames the city. And by the way, rags on it every chance she gets. Talks about how crappy New York is, and you know, which probably also
New
is
Yorkers
like,
love that.
yeah, New Yorkers love being reminded how much the city sucks.
You know, if you were a New Yorker having to protect that city,
and every fifth word talk about how it is your city and how you have to protect it and you love it so much and it's part of you. But
wait, your city? I thought it was my city. I'm Wilson Fisk.
You took everything from me. So. Ben Urich, ace reporter for the Daily Bugle, is also a big factor into the story.
Did he get tipped off?
He gets tipped. Well, he's told, like, bigwig lawyer is facing disbarment. He's like, Matt Murdock, that sucks. Like, that's not possible. So he calls Matt up and he's like, listen, Matt, and because he knows he's Daredevil too. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so he's like, listen, Matt, like, I know you're a good guy. I know that the accusations are bullshit. And Matt is really, really cold. You know, he's like, he laughs at him. You know, he's like, yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
That's weird.
Because Matt's like having a hard time.
Oh. Yeah.
You know, he just got dumped and he's losing his license.
Right.
You know, and he can't even like pay any bills or anything.
And the IRS sent him a letter.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're freezing his assets and whatnot. So, and like this good cop that he thought he could trust, as it turns out, is like actually dirty. Like everything really sucks. Wow. But as you'll see, like these things combined, along with Kingpin just digging the knife in, causes Matt to kind of descend into madness.
Oh. I'm sorry, I really laughed because he was like, all this stuff's happening, the cop's dirty, and all this. Oh, and God doesn't exist.
Yeah, also God abandoned him. Yeah. He never...
God just showed up and said, like, I'm not real, and then...
Put your hand
Get over it. Well, Thor showed up and was like, hey, it's all bullshit.
How am I
Krakoom! Thor does make an appearance in this book, and it's really cool.
Oh.
So... Matt's life starts to fall apart, and basically Kingpin's test for how it's going to work out is he's like, will Daredevil start sniffing around to find out how Matt's life is doing? If it does, I know for a fact it's Daredevil. And so Daredevil goes and visits the cop, the dirty cop.
Okay.
And he's like, "What's the matter with you? Why are you bothering this poor lawyer? He's a good guy. I don't understand." And the guy's like, "Fuck off, Daredevil." And he's like, "All right." So he leaves, and then he calls Kingpin, or Kingpin's informant, and he's like, "You're right, Daredevil did show up. And listen, like, my kid's really sick, and they're going to start the operation soon, so you better do right by me." And it's like, oh.
Okay.
All right.
Cop's got a kid, Kingpin's going to pay for his problem, and so that's that.
Oh,
that's
but Daredevil overhears it.
So he knows, but he's also like, this guy is a good cop, and he has a sick kid, and I'm not going to turn him in.
I'm not going to beat the shit out of him.
I'm not going to beat him up, and I'm not going to turn him in for being on the take.
Whoa. I may not beat the shit out of him, but I'm going to get a couple punches in.
Right.
But
I'm still upset.
But he broke the law. If he's willing to break the law to screw over Daredevil,
Yes, but he's
he
also...
might do it again to other people.
But he
Daredevil
knows
can't
that
just
he's
let
in
him get away with it.
he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. He hasn't quite fallen yet. Daredevil hasn't. Like, so he's like, I can fix this.
Okay.
But I have to fix this in a way that doesn't make it look like I'm trying to fix
Oh
Matt
no,
Murdock's life.
His whole life basically just completely collapses before the end of like 2 days. Oh, and so Foggy goes to Glory's apartment to help her out, and bangs her.
What a friend.
What a great friend.
Wow.
How nice of him.
And so we watch as Matt Murdock's life falls apart, and Foggy Nelson's relationship with Glory blossoms into a fully fledged relationship, which Frank Miller has a couple of opinions about, and you'll see them as they go. Because as Foggy starts to date Glory, Glory starts to like push Foggy to pursue a greater career and be more successful, and just overall like really earn his place in the world. And
Right.
come on, get your act together. Even though you were okay when we were dating, but you weren't dating me. So come on.
But it's okay, because then she turns into a demon and has him push her out a window, right?
No, that's another book. But it is a Daredevil book. Interestingly to note, by the way, none of the women in this book turn into a supervillain or come back from the dead, which is kind of a rarity when it comes to Daredevil's women.
Oh.
Like Elektra and
right,
Typhoid
but they
Mary.
don't seem to be painted in a positive light.
No. Well, it's Frank Miller.
Well, screw Glory. She sucks, and she's an opportunist. But Karen, her life sucks. Yes, she does suck as well. But like, what's interesting is we watch Karen's life change as well, because she sells Matt out for heroin.
Yeah.
And immediately regrets it, and immediately realizes
Does she
that
do the heroin?
of course she does the heroin.
Yeah.
Of course she does the heroin. I mean, come on.
I
I'm not
regret
gonna
this.
not do the heroin. I mean,
Yeah.
it's blood heroin, but
I'm doing it.
still heroin.
That should be the turning point.
No, the turning point is when the Kingpin assassins go to kill her.
I figured the turning point
Then
was...
she feels bad about it when she's about to be killed.
She
because of it?
she always felt bad about it. It's just that
noble.
she's also
Yeah.
addicted to heroin. And it's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, but
So-
if that was her last bump, basically,
Yes.
like I have nothing else that I can give. I gave up the last secret I know to get heroin.
Yeah. Now what am I? Gonna
Now
do?
I have to quit cold turkey. This is the worst.
That is not the mentality of a heroin addict. They're not like, well, I'm out of heroin. I guess I'll stop. That's why she sold his secret, because they're only thinking in the moment. Karen goes on a journey, and Matt goes on a journey. Matt's life completely falls apart. And by the way, like, he has no money, he has no apartment. Well, he has an apartment, but then Kingpin blows it the fuck up as his
What?
last little moment. Yeah,
Is it insured?
I mean, like, but like, Kingpin manages to make it look like... Here's the thing. Matt can't even capitalize on that because his life is already in shambles.
Well, Kingpin probably makes it look like it's suspicious, so
Yeah.
Matt Murdock may have done it.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
blind.
also, I think Matt owned the building, so it's like, yeah, he just took everything from him. Oh. And what's amazing is as Matt's life starts to fall apart, Kingpin's like watching, his informants watching, and he's like, yeah, this is going great. And this is, by the way, I could totally see this being season 3 of Daredevil. Just Kingpin being like, hey, I'm back. Fuck you. And we just watch Matt's life completely descend into madness. Because Matt goes into, he becomes Daredevil. He's like swinging around the city. He's like, this is the only place I could be myself. And he goes to bars, and he's just like, he goes from like trying to precisely solve the mystery. He goes to court to battle against his disbarment, and Foggy is his representation, and Foggy does an amazing job. And Kingpin notices, and he's like, that Franklin Nelson guy's doing a really good job. Like, I should hire him as a little screw you to Matt Murdock, and he does.
Wow.
And So Matt loses his license, and by the way, he doesn't even know that Foggy's banging his ex-girlfriend. But that's just the...
Why doesn't he just let Matt Murdock die and just be Daredevil?
No. Oh, yeah. Why doesn't Daredevil do that?
Yeah.
It's a good question. But, like, because he
He
cares
wants to,
about
like,
his life.
have a life,
He's not
probably.
like Batman, where he's like, this is my true face. He's just like, no, I'm a person. Like, I have a life, and I'm also Daredevil.
Okay.
I just have to be Daredevil sometimes. Foggy defends him. He loses his license, and then...
He does a great job, but he still loses.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just that he fights
Well,
really hard.
He
It's just
doesn't
that-
go to jail.
Yes, he keeps him out of jail.
He keeps him out of jail.
And, yeah, but that's it.
Yeah. Because Kingpin says, like, he doesn't go to jail like I planned.
I don't want him to go to jail. I want, if he's in jail, then he's protected.
Oh, he says, as I had I had planned for him to avoid jail, yes. Okay.
Yeah. But Foggy still does a good job.
Yeah.
So Karen is going to be assassinated, and she escapes, and all she can think about is Matt and how Matt will protect her. And you're
Not
like,
down in Mexico.
well, no, she needs to leave. So
to New York.
she goes through this whole crazy journey where, like, because she is still, like, she escapes assassination, but, like, they're still gunning for her. So she runs into the arms of, like, pimps and, like, lowlives who offer to protect her in exchange for sexual favors. So she just sells her body over and over and over again to get to Matt, because she knows in, like, the bottom of her heart that Matt will protect her no matter what.
Right.
This is
So
terrible.
How is she going to explain that?
Oh,
Why she's being.
She's just gonna be like, I sold you out, Matt, but I know that you're a good person and you'll forgive me.
She just
Thank
didn't show him
you.
that part.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he's a good Catholic. So
that's right.
I came back to you, Matt, and I certainly didn't sell your secret out for heroin.
Oh no, she says that. She tells him when she eventually finds him. But she goes through this journey where she's just used, and she eventually does buy passage into New York, and she tries to
Is it
escape.
like $18 now? You get across the bridge?
No, I think it's another type of payment that she uses
Oh,
to.
Yeah, she doesn't pay the toll.
She pays a
Oh,
different.
she pays the toll.
Flying
Oh,
passage
yeah.
into New York is like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't-
Yeah, you gotta.
Well,
you
no,
actually- you literally have to do that to get into New York.
She's with a person, like this shady, like, porn aficionado / drug pusher. It's like, yeah, you'll be my girlfriend that I, like, own, basically. You'll be my sex slave. And it's horrible. So Matt ultimately winds up losing his apartment. It explodes, and
It explodes.
well, Kingpin blows it up, and Matt goes
Usually
through.
when people lose their apartment, that's the. It's
because it's taken away.
They're evicted.
It explodes.
Or, you know.
Well, that's the thing, is that Matt's life is already ruined, and then Kingpin.
How many people does Kingpin kill
Oh,
to screw over Matt
100.
Murdock?
Oh, it's not even. That's not even the question. The question is, how much money does Kingpin lose? How much of Kingpin's empire is spent sticking it to Daredevil?
Yeah, right.
And
Well, I
it's
mean,
funny
if he
because
gets rid of Daredevil, then business can boom.
no,
He's betting on the long haul.
he is not. It is personal because Kingpin's lieutenants are like, so here's the quarter earnings. They're down because you keep trying to destroy Matt Murdock. And it needs to stop, Will. It's really digging into our bottom line. And so Fisk is like, I respect your opinion. You're fired. All your shares have been bought out, and if you don't accept this offer, your family will die. Any other questions? And then he leaves, and then he literally kicks out the entire boardroom, and then his like second in command is like, he's going on a ski vacation next week, and he goes, have both legs broken. Like, Kingpin has no patience for any criticisms of his plan. Kingpin blows up Matt's apartment, but also arranges for his costume to be readily available in the wreckage. So when Murdock goes to his place and it blows up in his face, he goes into the wreckage and he finds his costume.
This is
And
so intricate.
I know,
Yeah.
but there's this great moment where he's holding the costume and he's like, before now I didn't know who was responsible.
It's a nice piece of work, Kingpin.
You shouldn't. It's a pity you had to sign
No,
it.
you shouldn't.
you
have.
shouldn't
You
have
shouldn't have
signed
signed
it.
it. You're like,
Good.
ugh. And so he knows now that Kingpin knows who he is and is trying to destroy him. And I think, like, Matt has like less than $20 on him, and he pays most of it to sleep in like a shitty hotel. And he tries to reach out to the people who love him, but he knows, like, he calls Glory and Foggy picks up, or he calls Foggy and Glory picks up, and he's like, oh Jesus, my friends are plotting against me. Like, everyone's against me. I'm alone.
Oh, wow.
And you're like, whoa.
Whoa, Matt.
And then Matt goes to Kingpin's office and beats him to death. And then he wakes up and realizes that, like, he's hallucinating and he's all over the place. And you're like,
Jesus.
oh my god.
When does he go to a church?
He doesn't.
Are you serious?
Well, he does eventually wind up at a church. But he
Okay.
doesn't seek one out.
All right.
the landlord guy, the owner of the hotel, like knocks on the door. He's like, "Who's that? Is that one of Kingpin's men? Is that someone here to like finish me off?"
Wow.
And he grabs the throat of the guy. He's like, "Yo, $5." Ah! And then he knocks him out and he just leaves. And then ultimately,
Yikes.
Okay, never gets his $5 back.
No, he doesn't. So Murdoch goes to Kingpin's place.
Oh, wow.
He just assaults everyone all the way up to Kingpin's lair.
Wait, as Matt Murdock?
As Matt Murdoch.
That's
As
awesome.
a blind guy.
Oh, he's like, my
doesn't matter.
identity's out the window. But what's amazing about this whole thing is Murdoch manages to keep his secret under wraps because Kingpin has killed anyone who knows.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
it's just a vendetta between the two of them. But
Person.
basically, Murdoch actually winds up beating up a lot of people on the way to getting to Kingpin. He beats up a cop and stuff. But he gets to Kingpin and he's like, let's go.
Let's do
this. But he's like, he hasn't slept in days.
I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you. He's like,
I'm gonna throw down right now.
yeah, and Kingpin just beats him near death
Wow.
because he has the bottom of his.
It's Kingpin in the belly with the thing just all frap. He doesn't-
Nope.
yeah.
No.
Aha! You didn't count on my 17 inches of
Lord.
of
Has he
protection.
not fought Kingpin physically before?
Maybe he just
Yeah,
thought
he
it.
has.
He's just exhausted.
Maybe he just thought it was
Yeah.
the suit. He's like, well, obviously he's a lot
Obviously,
of
with armor or
Could be
something
that
under
bad.
there. Nope. It's all me, baby.
I just call this my blubber.
So no,
He gets
Matt.
some good hits in.
He
gets-
does, but he's physically exhausted and mentally like just out of it.
And also, Kingpin is a goddamn monster.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Kingpin just beats him, and then he's like, okay, that's the end of it. So Kingpin kills a cabbie, or has a cabbie killed, covers Matt in whiskey, and then shoves him in the back seat, and then sends the cab into the East River.
Why would he cover him in
Wow.
whiskey if he's going to put him in the river?
I know, but like, because maybe there's when they fish it out, the clothes will stain the. I don't know. Like,
Saying.
it's just a way of covering his tracks to
Yeah,
make it
there's
a
a whiskey
fully.
bottle.
It's a
that's
fully
in the
believable
car.
story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bottle's there, so they'll find that
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
But so they dump it in the East River. The cabbie's dead. Matt wakes up and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna drown to death." So he breaks free, and he manages to escape.
Okay.
And
I
his-
like that Kingpin left him alive. Because Kingpin's plan is like, look, I'll kill the cabbie, that's fine.
Yeah, but no,
But
I want
you to
know.
die underwater.
Well, he
Yeah.
has to drown so that it looks like he drowned.
Yes, that's another thing.
Is that Santa?
Yes. So Matt frees himself from his potential watery grave, and he escapes. But he's like delirious and out of it, and he's messed up.
Yeah.
And Kingpin is like he's haunted by the words of his lieutenants that told him the report of what happened, which is there's no body. They find the cab, they find the cabbie, they find the whiskey, but they have no body. And he's like, there's no body. And he keeps repeating it over and over again. So Matt sleeps in garbage after collapsing from exhaustion. He wanders through the streets, and he gets, and what's amazing is, of course, the imagery.
Yeah.
He stumbles 3 times.
Oh, where?
Oh.
The first time he stumbles through the street, he gets hit by a car. Then he gets back up, and he runs into the Santa. There's a phony March of Dimes Santa,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
and he bumps into Matt, and he just stabs him.
Oh.
Oh.
yeah.
Matt
look at that.
falls a second
Again.
time, and Matt actually winds up just kind of like instinctively going to the gym where his father trained, and he grabs the heavy bag, and then stumbles a 3rd time, and then collapses from his wounds.
That's awesome.
He is then rescued by a woman, a nun named Maggie. And Maggie is his
Sister
mom.
Maggie.
Yes.
Like, that's not a nun name. We gotta call her sister. So no,
I'm
she's
sorry,
not.
you're right.
Oh, wow. It's the Pieta.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And of course, the Pieta is Jesus and his mother.
Yeah, it's Mary cradling Jesus.
Yeah, and Maggie is Matt Murdock's biological mother.
Does he know that?
No, he does not. In fact, no one's ever seen her before this book.
Oh.
That's really cool.
A lot of stuff happens in between.
Like that bitchy nurse.
Well, yes, there's a
That might be a man.
Ben Urich.
That might be Kingpin.
It is just a mannish woman. Frank Miller loves those mannish women. as like enforcers. I don't know why.
Or
And then-
maybe if Batman is disguised as one.
yeah, as a big old ugly lady.
Not just Malone.
No, Ben Urich gets a tip that everything's bullshit. He starts investigating everything.
Like in life.
Yeah,
Everything's
it's all
bullshit.
horse. Well, he runs into Alan Moore.
Everything's bullshit.
He's like,
Yeah, he bumps into Moore, and Moore's like, they have a few minutes of conversation, and he learns that it's all horseshit anyway. But Ben Urich finds out, or he always doubted that Matt Murdock was on the take.
Right.
He investigates the cop. The cop's son actually winds up dying,
Oh no!
and so the cop.
Did he get the procedure anyway?
Yeah, he got the procedure. It just didn't work out.
Oh, it just didn't work.
And Urich is trying to get info from the cop to try and like get him to turn over, and the nurse is planted by Kingpin to watch the cop and make sure he doesn't talk.
oh, it's his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Lenny Fisk. But so the
Wilson and Wilma.
yeah, Wilma.
Oh.
So the nurse keeps tabs on the cop. The cop actually she breaks the fingers of Ben Urich.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, keep your nose where it doesn't belong. Don't investigate this any further.
Try typing with these.
Well,
yes,
hang on.
you can. Yeah, try writing your story with,
If she's
with no
gonna say
hands.
keep your nose where it doesn't belong, she should break his nose.
Yes, but the point is he's a writer. He's writing a story. She breaks
Well,
his
then
hand.
she should have come up with something more clever to say.
Well,
Yeah, she doesn't
I'm-
say- she doesn't-
I am
She
paraphrasing.
doesn't say that. She would say keep your nose out of where it doesn't belong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep it where it doesn't belong.
So she beats the hell out of Ben Urich, breaks his fingers, and basically frightens him into saying nothing.
Okay.
Stop.
And
And
now
it's-
the Kingpin's in a diaper.
I just don't really want to see this.
All right.
All right. So Urich is basically strong-armed by the Kingpin into keeping silent.
That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because Urich is there's this gorgeous moment where Urich is he keeps repeating, "Don't say the name, like don't say Murdoch, don't involve yourself in Matt Murdoch's business." And he's got his hand in a cast. His wife is like, "Don't do it, Ben. I know you love your story and you
Right.
love being a hero, but don't do it."
Jesus, come on.
Yeah, stop being a good man. So Urich
Be the slouch that I married.
yeah. So Urich just keeps saying over and over again, "Don't say the name, don't say the name." And he gets a call at his desk, and it's great. This is all the chaos of the Daily Bugle. Everyone's yelling about the bylines and screaming, and Urich is just sitting there in just within himself on the phone. It's from the cop, and the cop's like, "My son is dead. I don't care anymore. Matt Murdock is innocent."
Oh.
And he's like, "And I want to confess. I want to tell you everything." And that's when the nurse comes on the phone and she goes, "The Kingpin would like you to hear this," and then sets the receiver next to him while she strangles him to death. So Urich is just sitting there listening to this man's life being choked out of his throat while all the chaos of the Daily Bugle's going on.
Wow.
And that's what makes him go, "Fuck this. I am going to tell a story, and I am going to fight the Kingpin." And you're like, "Oh, Frank, Jesus Christ."
Yeah. What the hell, man?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Whoa, now I'm seeing the images of him listen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Matt is being nursed back to health by by this kindly old nun named Maggie, and Maggie's taking care of him and nursing him back to health. And he's basically in like this weird church basement, like hospice kind of situation where it's basically full of like winos and vagrants and stuff, and Matt, and he got stabbed.
Oh, hey, he's growing a beard.
Yeah,
Like Jesus.
he's in a bad way.
Yeah.
And she nurses him back to health, and that's his resurrection, more or less. But he tries to stand and he can't. He's like, he has a great moment where he's like, "Who took the muscles out of my legs?" Karen finally manages to get back to New York. Ben has been emboldened to write the Kingpin story, or at least start chipping away at the Kingpin. And Karen can't free herself from this drug guy.
Okay.
And he's
Right.
beating on her, and he's like trying to he's trying to like get her back on drugs and everything. And
Right.
actually, I think he keeps her like on drugs the entire time because she doesn't go through withdrawal until later. But she does wind up. She tries calling Matt, and she can't get through because his apartment's gone. So she calls Foggy, and she gets
Yep.
Foggy's girlfriend, and she's
Lord.
like, "Oh," and then she finally gets through to Foggy, and so she meets with Foggy, and Foggy's like, "Look at you, like what the hell happened?" He didn't know about the pornos, he didn't know about the drugs, he didn't know about Mexico, he didn't know about any of this. And he's like, she's like, "I'm staying with some guy," and he's like, "You're not staying with that guy anymore. You're staying with me. You stay with you're your family. You stay with me."
Aw.
And
Or
so-
you get the hell out. Wait, no, you stay too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this
Because that's
work.
what I do. So, Foggy takes Karen in, and the drug guy finds out.
Yeah.
So he
of course.
stalks Foggy's place,
Ugh.
and that results in a ridiculousness that we'll get into in a second.
Okay.
So Matt gets nursed back to health, and he actually winds up like kind of like retraining at his dad's old gym and like
Nice.
gaining his strength back. And meanwhile, Fisk is obsessed with trying to find Murdoch because he knows that he's gone. You know, he
Right,
knows
right.
that he's alive
the
somewhere, and his
grid.
lieutenants are like, "Will, Jesus Christ, man, we're trying to trade your evil empire for a legitimate business, and you're
Right.
trying to destroy this one guy, and it's costing all this money and resources." The nurse is kind of like one of the few like antagonists that Fisk uses over and over again. She goes to try and silence Urich by showing him what else he can lose, and so when Urich comes home, his wife is being hanged by a tie by a ceiling fan, and then she attacks him, and then Matt Murdock like hears about it because of his heightened senses, and so he shows up and just beats the crap out of her and saves both Urich's wife and Urich.
Nice.
And Urich now has this person in his apartment who is connected to the Fisk thing, so she goes under arrest, and Glory has a plot where she wants to become like a serious photographer, and she gets a job at the Daily Bugle, and so she
Oh.
becomes like a kind of like urban war photographer.
Oh.
And so Urich, another reporter for the Daily Bugle, and Glory go to interview the nurse, and the guy with the Daily Bugle is actually an assassin working for Fisk, and
Oh my
and
God.
he's there to try and kill the nurse,
Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
and so it all goes to hell over there.
That's
Are we going to talk about American flag?
Oh yes. Well, because the nurse was thwarted, and because they never found a body, and because of Fisk's own paranoia,
yeah.
Fisk decides to pull in some of his government contacts and requests the use of Nuke, who is a character Frank Miller creates in this book, and then is actually used throughout. And his debut was actually in the MCU anyway, was in the Jessica Jones series.
Right.
He's this like total lunatic dude. He was a cop.
Yeah.
In this, he was a
Yeah.
soldier, and the origin of Nuke is he's this Aryan American soldier who was used as a attempt to recreate the Captain America Project Rebirth
Ah.
scenario,
Right.
through drug use. And so he's given 3 pills, red, white, and blue. The red pill is like an adrenaline rush, which gives him like increased stamina, strength, and agility and everything. It makes him like, but it also puts him in a blind rage and makes him like basically like a Captain America Hulk.
Okay.
He's just a nightmare. And a white I think levels him out, and a blue calms him down or puts him into into a like stasis so that the government can like put him away.
Okay.
It's funny, he just takes the red pills.
He only wants the red. He's like, give me another red, give me a red. And he is literally a government like stooge. He is used by the U.S. government in overseas operations.
He's a tool more than he's anything else.
Yes.
He's also just probably a tool as well.
He is a big tool, yeah.
He is a government stooge. Like,
Yeah, he
he
used,
is an actual government.
Yes, and his modus operandi is that he wears like camo pants and he paints the American flag on his face. I always took Nuke as like a joke until I read this. I'm like, oh crap, Nuke was really cool. What happened? And by cool, I mean like I love what they do with him. Nuke is hired by Fisk, even though Nuke is only used in like overseas operations.
Okay.
They're like, oh shit.
How does he get access to Nuke if Nuke's a government?
Well, because Fisk has government
he's-
contacts,
yeah.
and because the U.S. government is incredibly corrupt, or at least that's what Frank Miller wants to say.
Okay.
But so we know that Nuke is in play, and while Nuke is in play, Kingpin also manages to work out the release of a like total psycho from like a mental ward, a violent criminal
Okay.
who is also insane. And he wants to dress him up as Daredevil and just send him out to start like solving some of his problems. Like let's use this phony Daredevil to kill Ben Urich, and that Foggy Nelson character who like I hired and I know is connected to Frank Miller.
Right.
Do
I'll
you
make
want-
Daredevil look like an assassin.
Well, I
at the same
want to
time.
also draw out Matt Murdock, so I'll do it by using his persona.
Right.
And
He'll have to show up.
yeah, so he uses this phony Daredevil to try and like kill Foggy Nelson, his best friend, and draw out Matt Murdock. The phony Daredevil is unleashed at the same time that Karen's drug pimp shows up at Foggy Nelson's apartment.
Oh, good. So he kills the pimp.
Well, no. The pimp shows up.
Kills him.
The pimp shows up, and Foggy calls the cops, but Karen thinks that maybe Foggy and the cops can't handle this pimp guy, so she knocks out Foggy and then goes downstairs to meet with him. But then the cops stop him too soon, and then he starts shooting at the cops.
Oh, wow.
So then there's a shootout between the cops and the pimp. But then the evil Daredevil shows up. And you're like, oh my god! So, because Fisk also hears that, like, maybe the Karen Page stoolie is there as well. So,
Why does this guy keep saying 58? Oh, 5B. Never mind.
5B, that's where
apartment.
that's the apartment they were given.
58. I gotta hit this guy 58 times. 58.
Now, Miller loves to do the repetition thing. Urich says, don't say the name a million times. The evil Daredevil says 5B, because that's the apartment. Nuke says, give me a white, give me a red, give me a red. He keeps repeating what he wants. So there's a lot of... Eddie does that in everything. Year One, Dark Knight, everything. But, so the Stooge winds up getting shot at, but he does get the upper hand and take Karen and escape into an alley. Murdoch engages the evil Daredevil and prevents him from killing Foggy.
Okay,
So
that's a win.
Yeah, so then he beats the crap out of the evil Daredevil, knocks him out, then overhears what's happening in the alley. The Stooge gets shot by cops, but then he gets one over and tries to kill Karen.
Okay.
But right before he does, Matt jumps in and saves the day.
He kicks an icicle, which stabs the guy.
Into the hand, disarming him, and then
awesome.
the Stooge shoots the cops, but then like another one of Kingpin's guys shows up.
So to everyone who's ever heard, like, don't stand under icicles, they can hurt you.
Yeah,
Happens here.
especially if Matt Murdock
I was gonna
is there,
say,
because
yeah.
he can
Kick them into
because he
you.
knows which one to kick, because he can use his radar sense to zero in on which icicle will fall at the right place to disarm a
Yeah,
villain.
it's very specific.
But what's amazing is Karen thinks she's gonna die, so she is like, she just tears into the pimp to get the needle that has the heroin in it for one last push.
Oh my god.
What?
That's she's
Yeah.
addicted.
It's a heroin
Damn it,
And
Karen.
so Matt knocks out, or well, the drug guy dies from his wounds after Matt disarms him. Matt uses the Billy Club from the evil Daredevil to disarm the other guy, and then takes Karen in. Matt forgives Karen immediately with no dialogue.
Okay.
And it's explained through narration that she confesses everything to him. And he completely doesn't need her to do that. He immediately forgives her for everything. Matt then strips the evil Daredevil naked and leaves him in the snow.
Good call.
Well, because I need that
I
Daredevil
need that
suit.
costume.
Mine got ruined.
true.
When my
Yeah, and he does
up.
keep it. So another one of Fisk's plans is thwarted by Daredevil. Everything falls apart. Then Nuke is unleashed. Or rather, then we get to the nuke plot.
yeah.
Then they drop
We
the
get a
nuke.
little backstory
Then
on
they
Nuke.
drop the nuke.
They-
Yeah. The whole like subplot of Ben Urich and Glory being in the cell with the assassin is there, and actually
Does the assassin succeed?
the assassin succeeds in killing her.
Okay.
Like the
nurse.
nurse.
The nurse.
But then he tries to kill Urich and the photographer to silence him.
Right.
And Urich disarms him and beats him to death with his own gun.
Wow.
Wow.
Way to go, Urich!
And the entire time, Glory is taking photos of the entire thing.
Okay, that's creepy.
Which is
All
creepy and kind of like
Kind of a dick
inhuman,
move,
but
Glory.
also really awesome because she has this ammunition against
Right.
this whole, like, against Fisk and everything.
Okay.
So, Nuke is brought in by his government people and Wilson Fisk, and he basically drops a nuke on Hell's Kitchen. What happens in the meantime, while Nuke is being prepared to destroy Hell's Kitchen and lure out Daredevil, Matt and Karen go through her withdrawal. She moves in with him.
Where?
Yeah.
Matt gets a job as a short order cook at a diner
But he's
in Hell's
blind.
Kitchen. Yes, but he uses his radar sense. To...
No,
Yeah, but how do they think
know.
that he does it? Does he pretend he can see?
Oh, they don't explain it.
Never
Well, he's not
addressed.
wearing
Never
glasses.
explained.
No, he's not wearing glasses. It
I'm
doesn't
sure he
matter.
just says something like, "I'm really good.
I'm just a really good chef. I cook by smell and
yeah,
taste.
and I keep everything like in the same spot, so I know where to find
Yeah.
it." And,
What's cute about it is it's
I
a
can feel how much it weighs, so I know the right amounts.
Whatever. How do blind people cook? They do.
No, I know, but
They
not.
probably don't
not
work as cooks though.
That's
I don't know.
with that much demand.
Well, blind viewers of
Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments below. How does a blind person cook?
No,
Yeah.
I know how they cook.
But how do they? But do they work in the
Would
food
they ever
industry?
be hired as a cook?
Yeah. So Matt works at this diner, which is actually a staple of Hell's Kitchen. It's this classic, crappy diner that makes awful food. But Matt winds
Yeah, it makes
up-
awful food. He's blind.
But they make a point that Matt makes it kind of better. That the food is actually a little
Oh.
better now that Matt's working there.
Okay.
It's
And-
the heroin. He kept the needle, and he's just
Yeah, he just keeps
bit.
getting him coming back for more.
Just like Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah.
I thought the secret ingredient, everyone.
Oh, is it love and belief? No, it was
Trace
LSD.
elements of LSD.
So Matt is basically scraping out a humble existence for
Right.
him and Karen. He and Karen have built a life together again. And then Nuke shows up in a helicopter and a bunch of assault weapons and rocket launchers and blows up the diner and a bunch of buildings and starts killing people. Oh, also he blows up the new apartment that Karen and Matt are living in.
Jesus.
And Karen doesn't die
how
because...
we need her not to.
Yes. She just went through a building exploding and she says, "Matt, am I dying?" And Matt's like, "No, honey." And he takes she says, "I think you might need this," and gives him the Daredevil costume. And then he puts it on and then he engages Nuke. And this is like the first time you see Daredevil kind of like set against the image of just a raging fire, and it's the image that Daredevil will never escape again. It's just the image of Daredevil engulfed in flame, basically coming out of hell.
Right.
And it's awesome. Daredevil fights Nuke in a way I've never seen before. He's like, everything's going to hell. Nuke is blowing up buildings. He's killing people in the city, and the government's like, "Okay, this was a mistake. We got to pull Nuke out." Nuke is going.
What do they think was going to happen?
I know, but like Nuke's going AWOL. Daredevil starts fighting Nuke. Nuke basically tries to escape, or he tries to get pulled back. Nuke's also under orders to kill Urich.
Oh, wow.
Because Urich is
Of course,
involved,
he's
and
still,
he's
been killed, yeah.
The machine gunner starts like shooting at Glory and Ben and all these random people, and Matt is like, "I can't stop these guys without killing them. So God forgive me," but he grabs Nuke's assault rifle and just takes down the helicopter
Oh, wow.
and blows it to hell.
Holy crap.
Hell's Kitchen is on fire. Nuke is responsible, and then suddenly it begins to rain, and Captain America appears with the Avengers.
Oh, gee, thanks
That's
for
awesome.
showing up now.
Well, now it's a problem.
Like a
Yeah.
few minutes ago would have been better.
Well,
It took
they
them a
just
few
heard
minutes to
about it.
assemble,
Like, wait,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen is under attack? Oh, shit, let's get over there.
Yeah, so Cap starts barking orders about like saving people from buildings. Thor brings down the rain, and Daredevil is just beating the piss out of Nuke. And then Iron Man's like, "We have orders to take that man in under the federal government. Hand him over. You have 5 seconds."
Oh, wow.
And you just got this cool moment of basically Daredevil set against the Avengers. And the image of the Avengers is almost, you can't even really make them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all the way up there. It's like the inspiration for the Netflix Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Where it's like all the movies are up there, like the Avengers are up there, and they're casting a shadow over all of us working schlubs who are trying to like just live. And also, we're all dying here. Thanks for your help for showing up in the last goddamn second.
Yeah.
But, like, they show up at the last second and they solve everything.
Yeah. Fisk is read the riot act by his lieutenants, who are all these old white businessmen. They're in a sauna in the scene where he's like being read the riot act. And he's like, "Fisk, oh, you gotta stop. No more Hell's Kitchen, no more Daredevil. We're losing money. I am out." And Fisk, "Yeah, that's right." He grabs his throat, just kills him in front of everybody. He's like, "I don't give a shit."
And then he takes off his towel. He's like,
"Look
what
at
are you going to
me.
do about it?"
Behold! And then he teabags him.
Wait,
So-
the live ones or the dead one?
Both.
Oh.
It's everyone because he's so fat, you see. So
If I teabag one person, I'll
I
teabag
teabag all
everyone.
of them. So Matt and Karen are living in the church that Maggie runs because
okay.
they have no home.
Okay.
And then Matt feels the footsteps of someone that he recognizes, and he's like, "I gotta go to work." And he runs up to the roof where he bumps into Captain America, who's been running around waiting for Daredevil to show up. And he's like, "Hey, man, listen, I need you to tell me what's going on here. Like, who was this dude? And Matt's
Well, it
like,
seems like you might know something.
yeah, well, and
you were
Matt's like,
there and-
Matt explains that like that Nuke is like through his radar sense he's able to determine like Nuke is like a half-assed attempt at a Captain America, because like it's not just that he's like given the super soldier serum and he has like, because they couldn't recreate it.
Right.
It's like, his muscles are supported by like plastic fibers, like his bones are replaced with like random tubes of of strong polymers and crap.
He's more
like,
assembled.
yes, and he's also
Like you can
fueled
hear
by
it.
drugs that like run his brain like into a fit.
He's a roid rage.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Captain America says he's wearing the flag, and it's like it really personally affects Captain America. So he's like, I'm getting involved, and Matt says, I hadn't noticed. Of course, it's a joke. Like I'm blind, but also like. Also,
It's like, is that what you're wearing?
yeah. Oh,
You
is that
wear
what,
the flag?
You wear the flag? That's a little much, don't you think?
It's a little on the nose.
It's a little Superman.
You're wearing a giant devil costume.
I am?
Is that what it is? Oh my god!
What color is this? I thought it was black.
It's not.
It is
It's
bright
bright red.
red. Son of a bitch.
I am
what is
firing
red?
my tailor.
Yeah, I don't know what that is actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. So Glory wound up getting a shot of Nuke, and it makes the front page. And everyone's like, this lunatic asshole blew up Hell's Kitchen. And the government's like, okay, well, that's the end of that. We're recalling Nuke. Sorry, Bill, but we are done with this. All our ties are severed. Bye, Wilson. And Cap goes to his general, who was just talking to Fisk, and he's like, explain this. And he's like, sorry, son, I got nothing to say to you. There's, you're a captain, I'm a general, and just frankly, it's above your pay grade. And Cap's like, I am not loyal to anything except for the dream. And so he breaks into highly classified S.H.I.E.L.D. information and gets all the info he needs about Nuke and about all the attempts at Captain America programs that have been done over the years.
Wow, in this book?
Yeah, and he's
That's
like,
crazy.
He's like, ooh, fuck that. And meanwhile, Nuke is held in the same facility, and they're trying to like calm him down. But Nuke saw the article, and he's like, the liberal media was me.
Oh,
so
my God.
he steals the pills. He starts killing everyone that's his
He
handlers.
took a lot of red pills.
He did. So he is
It's a lot of pills.
going for it. It's a lot of pills. So
If you take the red pill, you'll continue down the rabbit hole.
So Cap discovers Nuke as he's going into a blind rage, and then Cap engages him, and then Cap and Nuke go into a big fight.
We're still in Daredevil, right?
Yeah, this is
No, this is an Avengers book now.
Yeah. No, well,
It's a Frank Miller Daredevil book,
yeah.
so he can do whatever he wants.
so
All right.
Cap and Nuke are fighting, but then the U.S. government, of course, is involved. So like they
Yeah.
send in a chopper that's like shooting at everybody.
Yeah.
Matt,
We already had that once.
Yeah, Nuke gets shot up, but Matt steals him, throws him into a cab, and then drives to the Daily Bugle to try to get a statement out of him.
Matt doesn't
What?
like throw a bunch of whiskey in the back and then drive the
Guy in
cab
the cabin in the water. No. Yeah, that's old hat. So, but what's great is it, like Frank's describing
Wait,
it like
how is he driving?
horribly. So he is driving the cab, and he's using his radar sense, but he's like, it's raining. I'm in a car.
Yeah, it's
I am
glass.
surrounded by other cars. I'm in the city. It's a nightmare. And so he's like, he tries desperately to get Nuke to the Daily Bugle. Actually, I think he tries to get him to a hospital to save him. Then he knows he's hearing the heartbeat, and he's like, he's going to die. So I got to get him to the Daily Bugle to get one last statement before he dies. He dies right before he gets there.
Oh.
And then he just lays Nuke's body out on Ben Urich's table. Like, here. I completely failed.
What did he want him to say? What did
He wanted him
say?
to reveal that like Wilson Fisk was involved with the
Right.
government, and that Nuke was like just one part of the whole thing.
Right.
But at the end of it, here you can hold this now. At the end of it, Wilson Fisk's dealings have been outed by Ben Urich.
Right.
Nuke really was the last straw, so Fisk has lost his government contacts. And his empire is now crumbling. And the images of him as a legitimate businessman have been stripped away because of Ben Urich's attacks on him in the media.
Right.
And so
And-
now his illegitimate business
Is
and
the-
his business attempts
are-
are kind of just crumbling.
Are kind of crumbling, and his lieutenants have no faith in him because he's like shown that he's unreliable.
And he killed one of
And
them
he
in
killed
front
And he
of them.
killed one of them in front of them.
In front of them.
So at the end, Fisk is like, I have lost almost everything, but I did take the law from him. And that's something he can't get back. about less than a year later, he does, of course, get his law degree back. But whatever, he does get reinstated because he tears it all down.
Right.
But
he's disbarred for a while.
Yes, but it's the story ends with Matt and Karen together living a simple life alone, and Matt being like, "I'm Matt Murdock. I'm Daredevil. That's all you need to know."
And that's that.
And that's the end.
Meanwhile, Kingpin has one more thing where he's like, "You can't take my workouts from me, though.
You can never take my upper body workouts, and or my horribly planned lower extremity clothing.
Exactly. My many tiny briefs that I wear when I'm working out.
Well, or thongs.
Well, they're bikinis.
Well, they're gigantic,
I
but they
assume-
just look small.
I
on
assume
they become thongs.
they're one use only.
Yes, actually, they have to cut them out of them. But
well, he just gets a sheet the entire time, and they cut holes, and then they stitch it on him.
and it looks like a suit.
Yeah.
So, Daredevil Born Again is just like the annihilation of Matt Murdock's life, and then the rebuilding of it to the point where now. And by the way, in continuity, not self-contained. It's literally just like Daredevil 230, whatever. Like it's just a 4-part series.
That's really cool.
And they do a sequel where Matt Murdock does the same thing to Kingpin.
This is a cool trade because it not only has the cover gallery, but
Yes.
it also has
Pencils
in the back and then script pages.
Scripts.
Yeah, so you can compare how.
That's really
Because there have actually been
cool.
some controversy about this book. Some people thought that Miller did the outlines and that Mazzucchelli finished them.
Really?
Yeah, but
It does not look like.
it's not even close.
Yeah.
No, Mazzucchelli drew this shit, and he is so good.
Yeah.
Is there that
it's
letter of
great.
we're gonna give them what they want?
No, there's no quote like in All Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. This page is
We're gonna go full cheesecake. Just show them all of this Kingpin in a bikini.
yeah.
Mankini.
They're gonna want it,
I don't want that.
Give him so many curves.
and we're gonna make sure to show some really great shading so that we know he's glistening.
I just don't get it. I guess I just don't is it muscle? What is it?
It's both.
It's both.
It's
It's
all
all of the above.
It's one of those.
It's all Kingpin, baby.
Yeah. No matter what it is, muscle, fat, we can tell you is it's 100% Wilson.
He's just
Fisk.
so big. I just don't get it.
That's what she said.
But he's like, oh my god.
No, she didn't.
Get out.
I love the full page images of him when he's in bed, where it shows him dead and then being reborn is amazing. Of course, all the chapters are evocative of biblical imagery. There's a cute moment where Matt and Maggie are talking because he's staying in her house more or less, and he goes, and he's like, "Maggie, are you my mother?" And she's like, "Of course I'm not." And you're like, "Yes, you are, you liar."
That's a sin right there.
Yeah, and it's funny because for whatever reason they played it really coy for a while. But yes, Maggie is Matt Murdock's mother. She was married to Batlin Jack Murdock and then left shortly after.
And married Christ.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting...
God's like, hey, I'm your stepdad. What's up? I'm cool.
Whoa, and then you dress like your cool uncle instead, you dick. So, Matt, in Original Sin, remember that horrible event? In the knowledge bomb, the orb launches?
Yeah.
Matt's original sin, he finds out, is he learns that, or he gets the images of what looks like his dad was a wife beater, and that's why Maggie left. So he goes to Maggie and he's like, oh, and then she reveals no. As it turns out, she had postpartum depression and tried to kill him, and Matt's dad protected him from her, and that's why she left. And then she went and followed her dream of becoming a nun.
That's heavy.
And I'm like, wow, Original Sin sucked, but that's awesome! What a great retcon! How is that possible in this day and age? When I found that out, I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, I think the real takeaway from this book is that Wilson Fisk has a nurse sister.
Yes.
Yes, that we retconned.
Yep.
So you're welcome, everybody.
I mean, not
Who's
anymore.
dead now?
She's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had her killed.
Yes, he had her killed. Yes, he sacrificed his only begotten sister to silence his agenda.
Wilma, I'm sorry.
Wilma. So, yeah, Daredevil Born Again, I think it's one of the top 3 best Daredevil stories of all time, and definitely one of the top 3 Frank Miller stories of all time. Definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description box below this video so you can go grab it, and I highly suggest you do so.